From a beauty blog to a $134 million brand, Glossier built their business with viral packaging, crowdsourced products, and a cult community obsessed with minimal, clean beauty. They turned "you look good" into a movement and redefined how beauty brands connect with customers. But behind all this, they're still making the same back-end mistake that most Shopify stores are making, and it's costing them millions in revenue. Here's how. The average Shopify store captures 2 to 3% of its visitors with email. We consistently capture up to 20% of store traffic. And when you do that, everything changes for your email marketing. In this video, I'll show you the exact Klaviyo strategy I'd use for Glossier to turn a backend into a revenue machine. I'm talking long form flows for non-buyers that build conviction over months and reduce CPA, advanced post-purchase flows that increase LTV, all without relying on one-off campaigns that just vanish after a single send. We'll break it down step by step so you can copy this for your brand. Okay, so let me start from the beginning. As you know, Glossier is getting traffic on site of their organic content and the paid ads, and only 2 to 5% of that traffic is converting into customers, right? That's 55% of their traffic is in this stage, which is the ready to buy stage. And all of these other guys, that 97% of traffic, they just don't have the conviction needed to buy, right? So what we are going to do is we're going to capture 15 to 20% of visitors, the highest intent visitors, and retarget them using an owned channel, as well as retain these customers, the 2 to 5% that did buy, using post-purchase flows. So the first step to doing this is, first of all, having a solid email capture system. The way we are able to capture up to 10 times more emails is using this strategy, where we have a look at this report inside of the brand Shopify. It's called Sessions by Landing Page, and we can basically map out all of the significant landing pages that are getting traffic and have a separate pop-up that is suited to the awareness level of that traffic. For example, people who are on blog pages are there to learn more about something, so we are going to be having a different pop-up compared to product pages, collection pages, and the home page, because on those pages, people are here to buy, okay? They're considering buying, so the awareness level is higher. So we are going to be having different pop-ups, different incentives. The incentive is the most significant factor when it comes to pop-up performance, as well as the format, which I'm going to get into in a second. But incentives, on content pages, you want to have a freebie, something that does not require them to purchase in order to get a value. That's going to get a high submit rate compared to having a percentage off on the blog pages. But when it comes to product pages, incentives like discounts and free shipping work well. So you want to basically list out all of the incentives you are willing to give and test them one by one systematically. Next is testing the format of the pop-up. What do I mean by format? I mean the first step of the pop-up. How does it look? Is it a paragraph and an email input field? That's not a good format. You need strategic formatting. These are good ones. These are the highest performing formats. You can ask a simple question: do you want free shipping? And then give 2 options, yes or no. Or you can let them know, hey, you've got this discount, let us know about what you want. Okay, make it about them, and that gets a higher submit rate. And yeah, we just want to test that, test every variable. As you can see, some of the A/B tests we've done. You want to test with the close icon and without the close icon, test different speed timing, test the page size, normal size versus full page, test the trigger timing. You want to do all of these tests and test them one by one. There is a video on the YouTube channel where I show you how to test. Just go and watch that video and the tests. One key step here is asking a high leverage question, which is basically figuring out what they want. Now, this question really depends on the brand, what they're selling, what pain points are they solving, and how broad is their audience. You want to ask this because we want the flows to speak differently based on what they answered on this pop-up. And then we have the flows. But before we jump onto the flows, we have an important step that we need to do, and that's the domain warm-up, because all of these emails will not work if we are landing in spam. So what we need to do is warm up the domain. Even if Glossier has been doing email marketing for years, if they've been sending like sale campaigns or whatever, 9 times out of 10, the domain reputation is damaged. So we are going to fix this using this automated infrastructure that we built. It basically automatically segments the email list and sends warm-up emails to get responses and clicks. Again, there is a video where I show you how to build this. It's on the YouTube channel. It's like a 15-minute video where I show you how to build this. And you can see differences like this: 215% increase in open rate before and after, etc., etc. Okay, and then we can jump onto the flows. First of all, the welcome flow, which is going to catch the lowest hanging fruit, which are people who had the highest intent after those that bought. So these people are considering Glossier compared to other brands that are selling similar products. So in the welcome flow, you want to show why the brand is different. You want to follow up about the discount. You want to have plain text emails that directly handle objections, okay? You don't just want generic emails full of fluff that look like ads. Do not do that. Pinpoint a specific objection and handle it. And if you have a guarantee, zoom in onto the guarantee, okay? Don't just let the guarantee be embedded at the bottom of your product page. Speak about it and say why you're able to give the guarantee. And you want to follow up in different ways. For example, say a beauty brand, these angles work well. You want to come up with angles that are pattern interrupts, all right? So this welcome flow is going to last about 2 weeks. But unfortunately, just because of the nature of how this world works, 90% of people will not convert even after entering the welcome flow. That's because they just don't have enough conviction, all right? There's a lot of traffic they're considering between this brand and the ocean of competitors out there, okay? So what we need to do is we need to build a conviction from scratch. I say scratch even though it's not actually from scratch. The people that signed up to the email list had some level of interest. Otherwise, they would never have bought. They would have never subscribed, right? So you want to build trust and build desire, because if someone has enough trust in the brand and enough desire for the products, okay, and you keep adding touch points after touch points, at some point in time, if let's say we have unlimited resources and we can make unlimited emails with unlimited angles that are actually good, okay? That are actually good, this is key. At some point in time, if they keep consuming that content, again, they have to consume that content, which means it needs to land in the inbox. They need to see it for this to work. If we keep adding touch points using different angles, they will reach a conviction threshold after which they are going to buy. And this is what we do. We've got over 30 angles to build trust, okay? These are not generic marketing campaigns, marketing emails. They focus on a specific angle, handle a specific pain point or objection, or focus on a specific desired outcome, okay? For example, here we're using the logical side, using studies and statistics. We've got AI agents that sift through every study and statistic to find relevant studies and statistics that we can use to market the products. We can do something similar with trust by association, finding popular names, popular people that use a similar product mechanism, even if it's not the same exact brand, as long as it's the same product mechanism, we can use it as proof to tell our customers, hey, this is why you should try it as well. Handling shortcomings, admitting shortcomings. For example, if you're an e-commerce brand, you are going to be more expensive than the local brick and mortar store selling a similar product for 3 times cheaper, or from Amazon, right? So you need to handle this upfront, admit it upfront. Hey, we are not cheap, but here is why. You can't just sugarcoat it and hope that your customers don't notice that you're more expensive. You need to clearly explain why you're more expensive. Okay, you need to engage with them emotionally, humanize the brand, use plain text emails. Some brands are so insecure they don't want to send plain text emails because they're scared their audience will think they're being cheap or whatever. Some of the largest brands are sending plain text emails. So just get rid of your assumptions and start using plain text emails. And the reason, even though half of the emails that we send are plain text emails, I have to show designed emails because otherwise some brand owners are just like, oh, I don't want plain text emails, even though sometimes they work, a lot of the times actually, they work better than designed emails, right? As long as the copy is good, it's human, and it's focused on one topic. Same with desire, building desire using over 20 angles, okay? Now, these emails will go inside of the, okay, that's going to be a flow with about 40 to 50 emails that spans across 4 months, and that is separate to the welcome flow, because when Glossier has a sale, they want to be able to turn off the welcome flow and keep this evergreen content, the endless nurture flow, active so they can keep nurturing their non-buyers, okay? This flow will be going out to people who have not purchased. And the reason we have a dedicated flow for these guys, for non-buyers, people who have never purchased, is because 70% of an email list, if you go and make the segments, 70% of your email list consists of non-buyers, people who have not purchased. So why would you just let them sit in your email list and send them generic campaigns, okay? Instead, you want emails that have personalized copy dedicated to non-buyers, acknowledging that they haven't purchased, etc., acknowledging their objections, blah, 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 right? I've just said it so many times. You get the point. Handling objections, focusing on pain points, stop sending those generic emails that don't do anything and just look good and sound good, all right? And then alongside the endless nurture flow, we have the downsell flow. This is a sequence of automated offers, okay? It's about 4 offers. Each offer goes out after 3 weeks, so that we can give non-buyers a chance to buy again, because this flow will build conviction, all right? At the back of the head, it's going to build conviction. And then when these offers start launching, this is when we push them over the edge and they are going to buy. And then you have the abandonment flows. So for people who come to the site, take an action, all right? Maybe they've read one of these emails, they come to the site, they have a look around. One of these flows is going to take them from that site visitor from a second visit or their first visit, and send these emails to convert them. Now for these emails, please do not have reminder emails. Okay, you can have one email that says, hey, you left your cart. That's fine. But the reason they did not buy isn't because they forgot. Okay, that's a stupid reason. The reason they left the cart is because of hesitation. Okay, they had a question, or they were unsure about something, or they're thinking about another brand. Okay, so in every one of these emails, you want to have nurturing content. Okay, answer the question, why your brand? Why Glossier? Show some social proof, use some unique angles that stand out in the inboxes. Don't just send it saying generic, hey, you left this type of email. Don't do that. Use pattern interrupts. The same way you would work on a hook inside of your Facebook ads or Meta ads, right? Same goes here. The inbox is flooded. People are automatically ignoring emails, not because they're doing it consciously, but because they've seen the same stuff again and again. E-commerce has been around for decades now. Okay, they're not you are not the first brand they're shopping with. So have unique angles that stand out and that match your brand. That's for abandonment flows. I'm not going to go too deep into these because I give the exact angles away inside of a lead magnet. Go to our homepage and you can sign up for it. And also because everyone talks about these abandonment flows. Next, after the purchase, we want to increase the LTV, right? The way we are going to do this is by firstly having an immediate upsell flow. When they are in the buying mood, they're all excited, they just place an order. Within 5 minutes, you want to send them an email saying, hey, you can add another product to your order and get a discount on it. We have an app for this. It's going to add the additional product inside of the same order ID, the same shipment, so they don't have to repay. And we are going to have a look at this data to understand this report called items bought together, to understand what are the most frequently bought together items, and we would have different emails depending on what the person bought. Okay, next, before we can get them to buy a second time, we need to lay ground for loyalty, and this is what these next 3 flows are going to do. First of all, we've got a thank you flow. This is going to say a heartfelt thank you. Please do not have a templatized thank you email coming from we want to thank you for choosing our brand. That's BS. Okay, everyone knows that's BS. Those are automated messages that customers skip over. Don't do that. You need to have a heartfelt thank you from one person, ideally the founder or a C-level person, okay, so that you can take this connection with them beyond a transactional level. And then after 2 weeks, you want to follow up with them, genuinely follow up and ask, hey, how's it going? It was your first order. How's it going? And in this email, you can strategically direct good reviews to your third-party review platforms like Google Reviews, Trustpilot, etc. And neutral and bad reviews can be cached internally using a Google form. Okay, so good reviews will be linked to the third-party external platform, and neutral and negative reviews would be linked to the internal Google form. This will increase your social proof and your rating publicly. And when new visitors come across your ad or your website, they will look up your name on Google, they'll see a bunch of positive reviews, and they're more likely to buy. Next, you have endless loyalty flow. This flow is a compilation of all the value that we can give to customers beyond a transactional level. For example, this is a powerlifting brand. Instead of talking about the products again, you want to give them reminders and just value. For example, in this one, 5 recovery hacks for lifters, and give genuine value that is genuinely useful, okay? Not some AI generated stuff. It needs to be genuinely interesting and useful. You want to have content that reinforces their decision for choosing your brand, okay? Instead of the ocean of competitors. Do not let them have biased regret. Make them feel part of the community. Again, keep sending value-based emails. By the way, all of this is automated and it's a flow. So it will keep sending to existing and future subscribers. All right, this flow is going to span across 3 to 4 months. And then we have this flow, which is the first to second purchase flow. This is a flow dedicated to first-time customers because the second largest chunk inside of your email list consists of people with one purchase. They've made one purchase. Now they're just sitting in your email list, receiving generic campaigns about sales or whatever. Don't do that. You want to have a flow specifically for them, because if you can just convert 20% more first-time customers into second-time customers, you've pretty much added 50% more revenue to your business, okay? Because there is a huge leak from first-time customer to second-time customer, and that's why we have a flow dedicated to first-time customers, where the copy acknowledges that they have bought for the first time, how's it going, using different angles to follow up, having different offers laid out that will span across months, not just 2 or 3 emails that will go out in 2 weeks. No, this is a very personalized flow made for first-time customers. And then we have a similar thing for repeat purchases. So acknowledging that they bought multiple times, and have a long flow with as many offers as you are comfortable giving to your repeat purchases if they don't come back. And to figure out when is someone considered lost, when is someone considered a lost customer, you want to have a look at this data, all right? Just download this app, it's free, get this graph, and it looks at the time between orders it took second-time customers to place an order, and you can basically have a look at 80% of customers, of second-time customers, reordered after day 30. So for this brand in general, this brand, this is not for Glossier, but this is another brand. It's an apparel brand. For this brand, winback would be considered, lost customer would be considered after 30 days. But for some brands like skincare or nutrition, it can be like 60 days or 90 days. That really depends on your brand. You have to look at this data yourself. And then we have a referral flow, okay, that will trigger on repeat buyers, because if they've bought multiple times, that means they like the product, and if they can get a discount on future purchases, why would they not share with their friends and their family and get a discount on their future purchases, right? This is the point you want to introduce your referral program. And yeah, the best part is all of this is automated. It has to be set up once properly. If you try to do this manually, all of these emails, it will take you around 6 months to create angles, get designers to design the email. But we can do this in 7 days. If you're interested, just go to our homepage and sign up. And yeah, that's going to decrease the CPA, increase the LTV. And yep, that is the strategy I would implement for Glossier if the marketing manager would let me implement it.